Hey, this is Mark, and today I've got an iPhone 6S that has some pretty obvious and pretty severe damage to the rear camera connector, and then some less obvious damage to the image filter. So, yeah, and then it also has some long screw damage, but I've kind of poked around a little bit and I don't think that there's any reason for concern over here. I think it's just going to be this connector and then the 1.8 volt image line filter there. All right, come on, trying to save this sticker and not burn it up. Come on. Okay. So I am going to remove this connector with some hot air. That worked pretty well. Now I will clean up the pads. Got the micro pencil plugged in. Change irons and listen to the Hako song. Hate that Hako song. It's the worst song ever written. Add some fresh flux. Get my tweezers and some fresh solder. Let's see if we can get these pads all nice and even. All right. Let's see. It's really tight in here, so I want to get these pads. I want to make sure they've all got enough solder on them that I don't really have to go back and touch them up too much. I think some of these could use a little more. All right, I think that'll work. Now I'm going to clean off the chip quick flux I was using for that part of the process. I like the chip quick better in a lot of situations, but with connectors, I definitely don't. The Amtech much better for connectors because it doesn't get so hard when it, after it gets heated. The chip quick gets hard as a rock after it's been heated. So I'm just going to go over this real quick with hot air and a little bit of flux and just beat up these pads. There we go. And you can probably see all of the ground pads have a bit more solder on them than the other pads. And, that's pretty normal. It's just the way that the solder wants to stick to the ground pads because they make the solder cool down as you're pulling the iron away, so more solder sticks to it. If that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, too bad. Some fresh flux. And then I'm gonna just see if I can tack down this one anchor. There we go. Now I'll see if I can do the other one here. All right, so that should be good enough to keep it from blowing away. Now I can come in with my hot air. Ooh, all right, a little too aggressive with the hot air there. That's okay. Just gonna try that again. Oh man. Take some of the solder off of these spots. A bit more than I want there. All right, let's try this again, and this time I will try not to burn the connector up. The problem is that these connectors won't melt as long as they have, a really solid connection to the board. So, removing them, they don't really melt at all until you pull them off the board. But putting them on, because they're not connected to the board yet, there's nothing to kind of work like a heat sink, so they melt much easier. I'm just going to turn my air temperature down a little bit, and see, that's what happens when you don't tack it down. But I don't know if I want to tack it down right now. Let's see if I can do this. A little bit more flux helps. It helps the heat kind of evenly distribute. And it helps create like a surface tension so that the part is less likely to fly away from the board. So I'm trying to keep my hot air a good distance away and just kind of bring the temperatures up slowly. There we go. I'm seeing it's starting to melt some of these pads. All right, we're looking good. So now I'm just working the connector back and forth to help kind of break the surface tension on these pads. Make sure that they're all making good joints. All right, now I'll just get it positioned just where I want it. That should be good. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I think that's good. All those joints are good. Now all I gotta do is deal with this guy. And I actually didn't think ahead to check and make sure that I was provided with the passcode. So I don't know if I'll be able to test that the camera works on camera. I can definitely show that the phone boots up, but I'll check and see if the passcode is provided while it's booting up. It's very, very common for a device to come in for some kind of a repair, which, you know, in order to test afterwards, you would need the passcode. Like in this case, cameras. You can't test the cameras unless you can unlock the phone. And it's surprisingly common for these jobs to not include a passcode, even though we ask for it explicitly in the paperwork that's filled out when they send it in. But, you know, whatever. Just makes a 1-day turnaround turn into a 5-day turnaround. So I'll tell you this, if you send me a device to get it fixed and I need the passcode to test and you don't send the passcode, then, you know, it goes in my queue, it gets fixed, I realize, oh, okay, I can't test it. Then I ask for the passcode and it goes in my waiting for customer reply pile. And then once I get the reply, it goes back into my queue at the end of the queue. So, you know, I'm not gonna drop everything to go back to your device when you have done, you know, didn't do your part to begin with. So just fair warning, provide passcodes or, you know, expect a longer turnaround. All right. Let's see. I think I've got everything ready to go here. I didn't even check the connector on this camera. Oh, great. Because of course I don't have one of these to test. Yep, of course it's fucking smashed. So yeah, I guess passcode is now irrelevant because I don't have another 6S rear camera that I can grab and test this with. And this customer is, it's a guy that I know that owns a shop, so you know, I know he'll have other cameras, and I'm confident that this is going to work, that the camera's going to work, because it was really, you know, just physical damage. It's not, doesn't require any troubleshooting. Testing is really for my peace of mind, so that I know when I send it out that it doesn't come back with like weird problems that the person's like, oh, I don't know, it was picking up service fine until you worked on it. But you know, since I know this guy, I'm not worried about that. But let's see if it boots up with an image now. It should. No, nothing. Maybe this LCD is no good. Yeah, everything looks good there. Try another LCD. This one I believe is cracked, but should still show image and backlight are working. No. No image, huh? Very, very odd. Try to see if this is no image or no backlight. Clean all the fingerprints off of here so I can see clearly. No, still no image. That's interesting. Let's see. What do we have? We got, I think the 5.7 volt filter is one of these guys. I think it's this one here. Honestly, I'm not sure though. Pretty sure that's the 1.8 volt filter. And here's the backlight. Oh, okay. Well, he looks pretty gross. So yeah, definitely there's a problem there. I guess I should have known that if image filter's wrecked, of course backlight filter's going to be wrecked too, of course. Alright. So this video just got a few minutes longer. Oh man, look at that. Look at that giant solder ball pushed out there. Wild. These 6S backlights fail pretty spectacularly. I wonder if the 7's going to be like that. I haven't seen any of those yet, but I imagine there aren't many people going for that, oh, I don't know what it is, probably $250, $300 screen change. They're probably content to live with a cracked screen for now until prices drop. Or they're just getting their screen replaced at Apple, and if an Apple Tech blows the backlight filter, they'll just swap it out for another phone. Of course, the customer loses all of their data, but they kind of agree to the loss of data when they bring their phone in to get it fixed. All right. Okay, now I gotta dig out my 6S backlight filters. There we go. Where did it go? Oh, come on. You fucker. Where did you go? Well, that one just disappeared. Pull this one out under the microscope this time. Where the fuck did it go? It's not, oh, there we go. Magnetic tweezers. Drive me fucking nuts. There we go. That should do for the backlight. Now, let's see if this fucker will boot up and I can go ahead and end this video, because I'm about ready to go get something to eat. Of course, that didn't work. Of course not. So what's the problem here? Alright, that filter's good, that filter's good. Alright, see. Okay. Not sure where the problem is here. Oh, I think I found a problem. So these kind of globs here are chokes. They're LCD data chokes. Basically, they're like a two-channel filter, and you can hear my multimeter when I diode mode probe with red on ground. I get a short beep as it's kind of ranging and giving me my reading on each of these lines. And then there's a ground between them, and then we have two more, and a ground between them. And then here, I'm not getting that short beep, which means this is an open line. And I get it there, and there's my ground. So there's an open line on one of these data, or it's either a data or a clock line. So I'll just dig this guy out, and what I'm going to guess, probably because he's the closest one to this rear camera connector, probably there's, maybe a bad joint under here, something like that. So we'll just dig it out and we'll see. And I should probably point out that this is the first time I've ever really troubleshooted no image on a 6S. I don't ever really see these. This one, I happened to quote the guy directly, and I knew him, so he just shipped it straight to me. But normally, if this got sent in, it would never come to Florida. So I'm not that familiar with all the lines and measurements. I'm just kind of going by what I know from the iPhone 6. All right, come on. This is such tedious BS. All right, now let me probe around in here. So on the back side of the filter, I'm getting readings. Okay, now I'm getting readings on both of these. So I guess in digging around, I must have, temporarily fixed whatever bad joint there was. But I'm going to go ahead and resolder these joints just to make sure that they're good. There we go. All right, now it's going to have image, right? Aren't you? Come on, little guy, you can do it. No. Why are you still not having image? Let's see. Disconnect the battery. Reconnect the battery. Boot from USB. The sad thing is, I don't know that either of these LCDs are actually good. The one I'm trying now was good the last time I tried it, but I don't really know. And the one that was sent in with the device, who knows? It's smashed up, so I would expect probably it should work, but maybe have a messed up image. Maybe having this junk in the connector was my problem. Let's check with the multimeter one more time. Let's see. Yeah, these data lines are all good. All right. Try it again. Yeah, still nothing. What the fuck? All right. So now it's going to be time to open up ZXW, and let's figure out what lines I need to be looking at here. I think this was, this is a 1.8 touch. All right. Here's 5v7, 1.8. These are the two image lines, or main image voltage. What do we got here? Another 5v7. Oh, this one's cap. All right. Here's the filter for it. Okay. So going back to here. There's this filter. So let's see. Got 0.5, 0.54, 0.55. All right, that seems like a reasonable number. 0.6. And oh, look at that. Short to ground. Now why is my 1.8 volt line shorted to ground? So what I'm getting is this guy, he's shorted to ground. So we got two caps. All right. So I'm going to pull him off and see which side is short to ground. Okay, well, not the side I wanted, because that opens up a lot more possibilities. So, I wonder where I should look first. I'll just put this guy back and we'll check out ZXW. All right. Let's see. This is where my short is, which is mostly going to CPU and NAND and okay. Yeah, well, it's 1.8, TP 1.8, so it's going to go everywhere. So let's see, is there any chance that I have, in changing this connector, created some sort of a short to ground? There's always a chance of that. So I'm just digging these components out of the underfill to make sure. Sometimes I've only seen it happen a few times, but I have seen it happen. Solder will travel across the top and just make like a layer when you heat these guys up without picking the crap off of them first. Doesn't look like that's the case here, but it is always a possibility. All right, and I will just double check, make sure that short is still present. Yes, it is. All right. Oh, I guess I wasn't really showing what I was doing there. Oops. So what I was just doing that I didn't record was just picking the black goop off the top of these caps because you know, sometimes I've seen where solder travels across the top of them and creates like a layer across the top of the cap. And when you pick the black crap off of it, you can see like this flat layer of solder connecting the line to the ground. But okay, so I wonder if it could have something to do with this. Let's see. I think ZXW has lines for 6S long screw. Looks like it does. So let's see, what do we have? AP to LCM reset. Wait, this is 6, iPhone 6 screw break. iPhone 6S screw holes break. That's the one I'm looking for. I was going to say, like, that looked an awful lot like an iPhone 6. What do we have here? We have AP to touch reset and PCIe AP to WLAN. Crap. Those really aren't helping me there. Damn. I was really hoping that was going to be it. Well, let's see. Let's go back to our list of candidates on PP1V8, which is like everything in the goddamn phone. There we go. All right. And I really don't think there's any chance my connector could be, you know, have like a bridge under it. All right, I think I'm going to have to think on this one for a little while. So I'm going to end this video, and when I'm ready to work on this again, I'll start recording again and pick up where I've left off. So thanks for watching, and look for part 2 of this video for the exciting conclusion.